On this episode of Mike Drop Dallas, we're talking big time sports sponsorship. And also, we take a look back at 2023 and a look ahead to 2024. It's season 4, episode 8, the finale. So let's drop the mic and let's go. Welcome to Mike Drop Dallas, everyone, the official podcast of the Dallas Sports Commission. Kevin Sullivan here, along with Sports Commission Executive Director Monica Paul and our on-air producer, Next Level, Marcus Carr. Monica, the mic drop moment of the year has to be the Rangers winning their first World Series title. We've seen the community all across North Texas rally around the team. Fantastic interview you and Next Level did with Nathaniel Lowe an episode or two ago. You can still feel the buzz. So we'll put that in first place as the mic drop moment of the year in Dallas Fort Worth sports. But what you've had some additional mic drop moments with the sports commission and also personally with your Longhorns.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, it's been a great year. 2023 it started off early in the spring with Dallas being named the #1 sports business city by Sports Business Journal. What an honor! Something that I think we all knew all along, but didn't expect to have that come out at the first of the year. So it's actually been a real boost for us and something that we can really galvanize some of our partners and celebrate with. And we'll have a big celebration coming up this January 2024 as well. But kudos to all of our professional teams, conferences, leagues, and our entire community for that one. And probably another big moment for us was our NCAA Women's Final Four. Set all types of records. It was just electric here in Dallas, and something that we didn't think we could outdo what we did in 2017, but 2023 and the growth of women's basketball was pretty phenomenal here in the Dallas area. And yes, my
And
Longhorns, I'm quite excited about my Longhorns making the CFP. I know some of my Florida State friends may not be so excited about that and may think otherwise. But a big win for my Longhorns and the volleyball program, who just won back-to-back national championships as well. So congratulations to both of those
well, we
programs.
know that that's especially meaningful to you because you're a volleyball person.
I am. I actually worked with the women's program at University of Texas when I was going to school there my senior year. So Jared Elliott, their head coach, a great friend of mine. I worked for Mick Haley, who was the head coach and who was actually the reason I moved over into Colorado Springs with the women's national team. So great legacy that program has there for Austin.
Now, as we look ahead to 2024, our next show will be somewhere in the late January vicinity. Maybe we'll be doing a Super Bowl preview show for the Cowboys. You never know what's going to happen there. Stars off to a great start. Mavericks off to a good start, but struggling to stay healthy. At the Sports Commission, what are you looking forward to in 2024?
Well, we'll start out hopefully with an announcement in late January of the match schedule for the FIFA World Cup, something that we've been waiting for about a year now, but really hopeful that starting off 2024 with a bang there. Still anticipating, 7, 8 matches. Would love to be honored with name the host of the final. So we'll see what January comes to bear for us. In March, we're hosting an NCAA men's regional at the American Airlines Center. So we've hosted a first and second round, 2018, supposed to host in 2021. So great to have men's basketball back here in the area. March will be the CONCACAF Nations League's finals over at AT&T Stadium. We'll pair more soccer up June and July with Copa America matches there. We have 2 group stages and then a quarterfinals. We were just named the host of the Women's Under 18 Softball World Cup qualifier in 2024,
Nice.
and an actual World Cup in 2025. So that's kind of a new area for us a little bit. We've hosted softball many, many years in the past, but this is a different type of a level of competition. So excited to see what national teams and countries will be visiting us here in Dallas. And then we've also have the SEC Media Days that'll be taking place in 2024 here in the Dallas area. So a few more announcements to come to round out our 2024 event schedule that hopefully we'll be able to share in the spring of 2024 of others that to take place later in the year.
We also have the SMU joining the ACC right around the corner. What opportunities might that bring to Dallas for
Well,
with potentially with the help of the Sports Commission?
yeah, I mean, just their overall schedule, conference schedule in itself, and the teams that they'll be playing, different level of team, university that'll be coming to the Dallas area. So we see that as increased tourism opportunities in general. But we're very keen on looking at opportunities for whether it's basketball championships, volleyball championships, different, overall football championships for that conference and just to see what is available. I know there's still a lot of movement in the college space, but a great opportunity. And I can tell you just because I've been on that SMU campus here this past semester in my teaching, a lot of positive energy and to as they transition here going into this next year.
Always something going on. FC Dallas had a good playoff run. The Wings had a good playoff run. So all signals pointing up in 2024. Always a lot to look forward to on the Dallas Fort Worth sports scene. So we're back in a moment to talk big time sports sponsorships with Camilo Durana, the Executive Vice President, Apple Partnership, Properties and Events for Major League Soccer, and later Andrea Jones of American Express. First, over to Rachel.
Get ready, sports fans. This fall is stacked with events right here in the Big D. From food sport to football, the #1 sports business city has something for everyone. Head to dallassports.org to sign up for access to exclusive ticket announcements, discounts, and pre-sales to be part of the next big win.
We are pleased to be joined today by Camilo Durana, Executive Vice President of Apple Partnership, Properties, and Events at the MLS and Soccer United Marketing. He has worked with the biggest soccer brands, properties, and even at the 2014 FIFA World Cup. Camilo, welcome to Mic Drop Dallas.
Thanks, Monica. Thanks, Marcus. It's great to be here.
So obviously 2026, a big year for us coming up. The World Cup will return to the DFW area for the first time since 1994, directly after the MLS was created. Camilo, how have you seen the evolution of Major League Soccer grow since then? And with the World Cup coming back, what do you think the future of soccer beyond 2026 holds?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. The FIFA World Cup in 1994 was a catalyst for the start of Major League Soccer, and we've had a long road since. MLS has become one of the top leagues in the world, and along the way, we've built a really committed group of owners who have invested billions in soccer-specific stadiums around the U.S. and Canada that are the perfect places to enjoy a game. They've invested in world-class training facilities to make sure our players have the best resources possible, and the next generation of players have the best training environments possible as well. We've also invested in an unbelievable player pool. We have the most diverse player pool in the world, players from over 80 countries, including World Cup winners like Lionel Messi, who's probably somebody you've heard of recently. Thiago Almada, you've got the likes of Carlos Vela, one of the best players in Mexican history, and North Texas's own Jesus Ferreira, who becomes more and more a prominent figure when the U.S. national team plays. And we're coming off a historic year at Major League Soccer. We've got record attendance, record merchandise sales. We launched Leagues Cup, a mid-season tournament that did incredibly well for us, and a historic partnership with Apple, amongst other things. So we're doing our best to position the league to continue growing and be competitive, not just in the very competitive domestic U.S. sports landscape, but also at a global level. And the FIFA World Cup, as you know, is the ultimate stimulus package. It changes the economies of countries, and in the instance of the U.S., it makes soccer a mainstream. And what that does for us, whether it be the World Cup or another big event, soccer event that comes to the United States, in Canada is it causes more people to be interested in the sport. They may decide to trial and buy a ticket and go to an FC Dallas game. They may decide to buy a jersey. They may decide to register their kids for youth soccer. And the more people demonstrate interest and enter into that funnel, the better chance we have to convert them into lifelong fans. And that's our goal, to continue to grow MLS and make soccer the sport of choice in North America.
Well, I can also attest to the final of this last FIFA World Cup of friends of mine who have never watched soccer. I was actually with them that day, and they're like, "Oh no, we're coming with you to watch the final." And I'm like, "Really?" So kind of exciting, but also it's like, "Oh my gosh, what is going to happen in 2026 when it's right here in our backyard?" And really kind of special to give people the opportunity to see that
It's
level of
incredible.
soccer, and just to experience a World Cup.
It's incredible. In my own living room, I have a 6-year-old son, and Dad has some pretty good access to soccer events and soccer opportunities, and I couldn't get him to be interested. And I kind of let him be and pursue his interest. And it wasn't until the World Cup in 2022 in Qatar, where kids in his kindergarten started talking about Lionel Messi, and he came home and he said, "I want to learn more about Lionel Messi," and it sparked a passion where it's now his obsession. He plays. His Christmas list is all Lionel Messi jerseys and shoes and things along those lines. So it is evidence in my own living room of the impact of the FIFA World Cup, and those types of changes are taking place in homes across the United States and Canada.
Well, Dad, don't let your son down for Christmas. Santa better be pretty good and you have a lot, like you said earlier, you have a lot of access in soccer. So that Santa better be on point.
There's high demand for Lionel Messi merchandise, but I think Santa will deliver.
Okay. Well, I would love to hear some stories about the 2014 World Cup in Brazil when you worked, but what impact do you expect the 2026 World Cup to bring to the DFW area from a brand and property perspective? Especially important to me as we, as a host committee, venture out here shortly to look for host city supporters and partners of our own.
It's an unbelievable event, and I worked, as you mentioned, in 2014. I was working for Anheuser-Busch InBev and spent the duration of that World Cup in Rio on the Copacabana, which was sort of the epicenter of fandom. And the one thing that strikes you about attending a World Cup is that the world attends, people from all over the world in one single place, but the world also watches. This last FIFA World Cup in 2022 in Qatar, the final drew 1.5 billion viewers, and the cumulative viewership of the tournament, according to beIN Sports, was close to 5.5 billion people worldwide. For context, we talk about the Super Bowl in the United States as this big broadcast event that drew less than 200 million. So just think about the scale and the impact of this worldwide. And a study showed there's an immediate impact, right? I think Qatar estimated about a $17 billion impact to the Qatari economy, which is incredible. And there's also a lagging effect. They estimate that by 2030, they'll have about 6 million visitors to the country annually compared to 2 million in 2019. So it puts you on the map. And I think for North Texas, the real opportunity is the eyes of the world to be front and center. And it's a real legacy opportunity.
Milo, Monica and her team have done a tremendous job positioning Dallas to host the final here. And from your perspective, what makes Dallas's bid so strong?
Well, number one, they have Monica, and everything that goes through the city of Dallas, Monica makes sure it's a success. And we've worked with her team for a number of years to know that. At the end of the day, Dallas is a proven soccer city, and it's demonstrated that time and time again, hosting big events, be it the Gold Cup, be it Copa America matches, be it, and I think you're hosting also the CONCACAF Nations League finals this upcoming March. We've managed the U.S. touring rights for the Mexican national team for over 20 years. We bring them to the United States, and they play in over 20 cities. Over the course of the last 10 years, the top three of the top 5 games over that 20-year period in terms of attendance have taken place in Dallas, all over 82,500 in attendance. That doesn't happen in a lot of places around the world. Secondly, Dallas is a soccer city. They've got FC Dallas, a Major League Soccer franchise with incredibly rich history. They're owned by the Hunt family. That's been one of the most instrumental, I'd say vital supporters of the growth of their sport in North America. No bigger supporters. And you have a long history of world-class talent coming out of Dallas. FC Dallas's academy is considered one of the best in the Americas. Players like Jesus Ferreira that I mentioned earlier, Ricardo Pepi, who's now playing for PSV Eindhoven in the Netherlands, Weston McKennie, a central figure in that U.S. national team midfielder who is in plays for Juventus. It is a city with rich soccer culture, rich soccer history, world-class venues, and again, it has Monica. So anything that goes through that city is a success.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. The MLS and Apple partnership just completed its first year. And so it's an intriguing, partnership. It's new, it's innovative. Can you share some insights on how that partnership came to be, and what the future looks like?
Yeah, we're very focused on our fans and providing the best possible experience, meeting their needs, like any company should. And the reality is media consumption is changing, particularly with younger audiences, and how people engage with the sport of soccer is no different. We are the first league to move to a predominantly fully streaming platform. And before we did the deal, we actually knew that the majority of our fans were already streaming live sports on a weekly basis. So if anything, we were meeting the demands of our fans. At the core, this Apple partnership is making it easier to be a fan of Major League Soccer. We've put every single game in one single place. With that same subscription, you can watch in over 100 countries. So if you live in Dallas and you travel to Mexico on vacation, you don't have to figure out which local broadcaster may be streaming or broadcasting your favorite team's game. If you travel on business, it's exactly on the same exact place on your device. You don't have to figure out whether the hotel has the particular channel. It's made it easier. We're also not bound by linear broadcast windows. In 2022, we had 63 different match day and kickoff time variations across the league. So if you wanted to follow your team, you almost had to be a full-time researcher to really figure out when the games were taking place. Almost every single game is at 7:30 p.m. kickoff time local. Most of the games are on Saturdays, some at Wednesdays. So it's a lot easier, and we're able to build habits and fandom. And that's really thanks to this new platform we've built with Apple. Second, we're now producing all matches with the same high quality. There's no variance. So if you look at any game throughout the season, you know exactly what you're watching, and you know that's an MLS game. The clean Apple graphics. We hired 100 talent that are calling the games in 3 different languages with passion and knowledge about the game. But I truly believe we have one of the best broadcast products in sports, and it's year one. And we believe that as people watch, they'll love it more. We know already that they're watching longer than they were in our linear days. So we know the product resonates, it's working, and people love it. But I think the most important part of this partnership with Apple is it's more than a broadcast partnership. Sure, they're streaming our games on Apple TV with MLS Season Pass, but we're also integrating into the ecosystem of Apple products and services. So for example, all of our teams now have playlists on Apple Music. We have some of our top players writing guides as to the favorite food options and restaurants or places to visit in their home cities. And that's all available on Apple Maps. We're also prominently featured on Apple News, which is the largest news aggregator in North America and many other parts of the world. So we're putting Major League Soccer front and center. I mean, literally in the palm of people's hands as they get push notifications with games that are taking place. It's a fundamentally different experience. It's easier to connect with our sport, our superstars, our game. And the great thing is it's only year one. We have 10 years to go with the most advanced and innovative company in the world, which is a really exciting place to be for our league.
Absolutely. And, to your point, my girlfriend, who is not an MLS fan, before this season, she was like, I'm getting all this MLS stuff. Who's this Messi guy? Who's this? So I'm an Apple subscriber. And so we watched FC Dallas, when Messi was here, and she's like, I think I like soccer now. So I think you're hitting exactly, the age demographic and all of those things that the partnership is set to. the global fan base for soccer is tremendous. How does the Apple partnership contribute to expanding, the global footprint? And are there any specific strategies outside of all that you just laid out to continue to grow those international audiences through technology?
First and foremost, the simplicity that I mentioned, right? With a single subscription, you can watch every single minute, every Leagues Cup game, MLS Next Pro, MLS Next tournaments, ancillary content in a single place. Previously we had maybe one match or two matches broadcast a week in certain countries. Now everything is available. And that's really important because I mentioned the diversity of our player pool, players from over 80 countries. So if you are in Colombia and you love Cucho Hernandez, MLS Cup MVP, you can watch his every single game with a single subscription. Similarly, if you're a fan of Lionel Messi, wherever you may be in the world, because they're everywhere, you can watch every single one of his games in one place. So that's really important, the access to our top players. Secondly, Apple is more than obviously just Apple TV and MLS Season Pass. They have relationships with carriers and other companies around the world. And a great example is in the US this year, they made MLS Season Pass subscriptions available to T-Mobile subscribers. So they were able to get us in homes faster than we would have selling sort of direct to consumer without the Apple partnership. And they're building those kinds of partnerships in different geographies around the world. So it enables us to scale much faster and get MLS Season Pass in front of fans faster than we would otherwise. So they're really helping from a global relevance standpoint, and we're thrilled. And like as I mentioned before, their reach, their scale, their innovation is exactly the kind of partner we want. We're not sure what's going to happen in the world and how consumption is going to evolve over the next 10 years, but the fact that we're in a 10-year partnership with Apple, which again is the most innovative company in the world, puts us in a really good position to keep evolving and growing in the right ways and continuing to deliver for fans.
Well, Camilo, I really hope that there's a few of the other leagues looking at what you are doing, because I just returned from Mexico from the last 10 days, and there were a few of the other games, other sports, other leagues that I was not able to watch because of. So your point is spot on there. I was thinking, boy, it sure would be nice if I could sign in, my subscription would work on all of these. So before we let you go, soccer has a rich tradition. There's always a push for more innovation in sport. How do you balance maintaining the traditional aspects of the game, but at the same time introducing new and fresh elements to keep things moving along?
That's one of the fun parts is problem solving. And FIFA governs a lot of what happens on the field, but there's a lot of space that we can play in, both on the field and off the field, to make the experience better. And traditions are great, but there's some traditions that need change because they get in the way of the fan experience. A great example is stoppages in play. Fans want faster play. You see a lot of changes in Major League Baseball that's made the game faster in positive ways. Well, we had an insight the fans got really frustrated when players would walk off the field slowly when they were being substituted, and we needed to expedite that. So we piloted a program in MLS Next Pro, which is one of our development leagues, that gave players only 10 seconds to come off the field when they were substituted. And if they didn't, the player coming on for them would have to wait on the sideline for an incremental minute. You can imagine how players were racing off so that they wouldn't put their team at a disadvantage for the minute that followed. And it worked. It sped up the game. It changed the amount of stoppages that we had. And it worked so well that we're now implementing it in Major League Soccer in 2024. Another great example is that from a technology standpoint, one of the things that Apple delivered was a multi-screen option. So if you're watching on your Apple TV device, and there's multiple games going on, sometimes you're frustrated that you have to switch channels and you've got, your iPad or your phone next to your TV screen trying to watch multiple games at once. Well, with the multi-screen option on Apple TV, you can actually put up to 4 games at once on your screen and switch audio from one to the other if things are happening. So it's fundamentally changed the way I know I watch the games when there's a certain amount of games that I want to watch at the same time. But you can also think about product differently. And think about schedule differently to create more moments, more tension, more velocity in your annual calendar. I mentioned Leagues Cup earlier in our discussion. Leagues Cup is a mid-season tournament. We actually paused our regular season, and our partners at Liga MX, which is the top league in Mexico, paused their regular season as well in mid-July. And we played all of our clubs, 47 clubs, over the course of 30 days, 77 matches, a World Cup style tournament to determine one champion. And in the end, Inter Miami and Lionel Messi raised the cup. But it's an example of building a really interesting, exciting, and compelling asset for fans, or tournament for fans, that really cut through and put us on the world stage, because we thought differently about how to use our calendar and moments in the season. And the rest is history. The NBA actually announced as well that they're going to embark on a midseason tournament as well. So you're starting to see innovation in sort of how people think about, and leagues think about, their calendar to create more compelling competitions, tournaments, games of consequence for fans. And we pride ourselves on being on the forefront of innovation. And we think we do it really well, while still balancing, to your point, and maintaining sort of the great parts of our game's traditions.
Well, Camilo, thank you so much for joining us today. True, great actually catching up to you. Haven't seen you in a while. I'm not sure how we've been missing one another with so many events here, but definitely look forward to seeing you here back in the Dallas area soon.
I look forward to being there, and I think we keep missing each other because we work in soccer in many ways, so we're just zooming about. It's a great time for our sport, great momentum, and we're always excited to be in Dallas.
All right. Thank you, Camilo. And now over to Rachel for a word from one of our sponsors.
Get ready, sports fans. This fall is stacked with events right here in the Big D. From food sport to football, the #1 sports business city has something for everyone. Head to DallasSports.org to sign up for access to exclusive ticket announcements, discounts, and pre-sales to be part of the next big win.
Thanks, Rachel. And now we are pleased to be joined by Andrea Jones, the Director of Global Brand Sponsorships and Experiential Marketing at American Express. That's a big job, everybody. Andrea is a UNT alum like Marcus. Of course, Marcus, Andrea, he's got so many degrees. He's an alum of SMU. He's been educated. That's why we call him next level, because he keeps going back to school, and he's a smart guy.
That is definitely next level.
But go mean green. Before joining American Express, Andrea worked her way up at Dr. Pepper Snapple before a long stint at AT&T. We love having people on the mic drop who have had cool career experiences, and you certainly have. At AT&T, Andrea led sponsorship of experiential advertising. She's also on the board of WISE. Now, Mic Drop Dallas listeners know that WISE stands for Women in Sports and Events, because we are big fans, and that group, the local chapter, is definitely friends of the podcast. Andrea, welcome to Mic Drop Dallas. Great to have you on.
Thanks, Holly. I'm very happy to be here.
All right, let's jump right in. I'm sure you've seen a lot within the sports sponsorship space and all these great jobs that we mentioned that you've had. What is the importance of sports sponsorships in building and enhancing a brand's global presence?
Yeah, I think, sports is a passion point. And I think that the idea that sponsoring a sport creates an opportunity to meaningfully engage with fans at their point of passion. So I think it gives brands an opportunity to increase their presence and tap into that community sense or that loyalty that fans have with their respective team or league, etc. So it's a great opportunity to really sort of give fans an opportunity to experience your brand, to really kind of touch and feel, and to do it at a point where, folks are most excited and most passionate. So ideal opportunity there.
Earlier this year, Dallas was named the #1 city in America to do sports business. This was by the Sports Business Journal, based on all kinds of data, research, analytics, and metrics. So this was not a subjective poll. What do you think makes Dallas such an attractive destination for sports sponsorship?
Well, I'm from here, so I'm a little biased. I'll just put that out there. But I think Dallas has a very passionate sports culture here. We kind of run the gamut in sports, and we have top performing teams across major leagues. So I think that creates an opportunity to build that unique culture. I think we also have the venues and the facilities that operate on that national level, and lends itself very well to major events and things like that. So I think it's an amazing city that I think works really well for sports sponsorships.
So Monica and the Dallas Sports Commission have done a wonderful job positioning Dallas and their FIFA World Cup bid to elevate not only North Texas but all the brands and partners involved. From your perspective, what would being a sponsor of FIFA World Cup bring to a brand and increase that global footprint, as you mentioned before?
Yeah. The World Cup it's a huge event. It has massive, scale and reach. So I think when brands partner with events like that, that's exactly what they're looking for. It brings that diverse culture, that diverse audience. It's obviously a sport that has strong, passionate fans. And so I think when brands partner with an event like a World Cup on a massive national stage, that's what they're looking for. They're looking to engage those guys and do it in a way that's unique with a sport that they're extremely passionate about and elevate their brand and all in the process.
We've seen a significant change, through the sports, like not just sponsorships, but sports trends as a whole. From your perspective, what are some trends that you find most exciting, and what do you think, the next steps are as, we continue to push forward as fans, consumers, etc.?
Yeah, I think, coming out of the post pandemic, I think trends have gone towards, they're leaning more towards meaningful engagement at this point. I think brands are looking beyond just logo inclusion and looking for real opportunities to give fans a chance to experience their brand. And I think technology is probably another trend that's really lending itself to sports sponsorship. It's enhancing the fan experience both in the venue and outside the venue, and also creating opportunities for fan to engage, interactivity, immersive experience. I think those probably are the two that come to mind, that just that meaningful fan engagement, and then obviously the evolution of technology.
So as Sully, mentioned, I am I love learning. I love, getting advice from people. Monica also teaches a class at SMU that's an undergrad class, which, some of their required coursework is to listen to our podcast and get advice from people like you. So, as a seasoned professional, you've gone through all of this, great experience. What would be, your best advice for someone starting their career or looking to start their career in sports?
Network. I mean, I would definitely say meet as many people as you can. And I would take any opportunity to get in the sports business, even if it's probably not your most ideal. Any opportunity to learn the business side, learn the experience, I would definitely jump on that. Um, Networking for sure. I would say build that strong foundation, like do your legwork, do your research, understand what the opportunities are. They're frankly endless. I mean, so I would encourage folks that, I was an athlete in college. So when I was in college, way long time ago, it was as a your options were kind of professional athlete or agent, but I think now, even being in this business, I've learned that there's so many opportunities to stay close to, if you're passionate about sports, there's opportunities. So I would say do that legwork and meet as many people as you can, and go to industry events and stay up on industry trends and things like that. And I think that'll kind of set you apart from the rest.
What was your sport at UNT that you played?
Basketball.
Okay, so break down your game for us, Andrea. What was describe your game for us? And
So I went to school. I went to high school here, and I played college and high school. I played basketball in high school also, and I was like the second tallest girl on the team. I'm only 5'8", but when I went to college, I was the second shortest girl on the team. So I had to enhance my ball handling skills. I had to become a much better shooter, which I did, if I may say so myself. And I had to learn and I had to enhance my court vision also. So I kind of went from a small forward in high school to a two guard in college.
So you were the Luca of the Mean Green back in the day.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but somewhere in there.
Now the Mavericks have had. I assume you follow the Mavericks. You grew
Of
up as a
course.
Mavericks fan. I mean, the Mavericks are
Absolutely.
having a hard time getting everybody on the court at the same time right now. With obviously Kyrie's been out, Josh Green's been out, Maxi Kleber's been out, a couple other guys in and out. What do you think the Mavericks, chances are if they can get everybody on the court? How good do you think they can be this year?
I mean, it's amazing. I think if you just hit the nail on the head. I think it's keeping everybody healthy is really the key in keeping them healthy at the same time. I think they have all the pieces. Like I think they have the pieces that they need to put it together, but it's just going to be a matter of making sure everybody stays healthy.
Right. Back in I'm thinking about how you mentioned passion in around in sports and then working in sports, and it's the best thing from my experience about working in sports is you're a part of something that people really care about. And when you were speaking, I was reminded of way back. This was 2005 or six. I was at an event at Microsoft, and I heard Bill Gates speak, and he was addressing the top women leaders from Microsoft from all over the world. And the first question he got was about work-life balance. And his answer was, well, I don't follow sports and I don't watch television. And so while I'm not able to participate in those conversations, it frees up a lot of time. And immediately I felt sorry for him because I get so much enjoyment from both sports and that passion being ignited and in television. And then it occurred to me that on that particular day, he was the wealthiest man on the face of the earth, the wealthiest person. And I'm feeling
Yep.
sorry for him because he doesn't follow sports, but
Yeah.
there's nothing like it. I mean, maybe music a little bit, but so as we wrap up, there's this opportunity when you work in sports to be a part of something that people really care about, unlike almost anything else in terms of the way the passions run. So in your role as a board member with Wise Women in Sports and Events, the Dallas chapter, you play a crucial role in mentoring and nurturing young women coming into sports and events. Uh, can you share how Wise continues to engage the next generation of sports professionals? We always need new people coming in. How do you help them, find opportunities and get their network, underway?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. I totally agree with you on the sports passion. I've never won a national championship, never played in a Super Bowl, but I have some moments in my career that are sports related that could challenge that feeling, like getting that, being at, Olympic games and things like that. And it's been fantastic. And so, when I joined Wise a couple years ago, it was really along the lines of there's not a lot of women in this business. And I think the women in this business, we kind of bond together and help to not only grow and help each other's career where we are, but also to take a step back and look at who's following us and ensuring that we take the learnings that we are kind of getting on the job, passing those along to the folks that are following us. And I think Wise does a really good job of creating programmatic opportunities like Welly and our education programs and things like that that give members the chance to not only learn about the business and we do things certainly like, resume building and interview tips and stuff like that. But it's also even beyond that when you talk about things like mentorship and internships and really giving folks an opportunity to be on the ground in certain sports moments and being able to see kind of what happens, like what goes on when you're putting together an IRL activation. So I'm super proud of the work we've done and super proud of the work that we'll continue to do for sure.
Where can people get more information online or social media about the Dallas chapter in particular, or Wise?
Yeah, I would go to wisedfw.com. That's the site, and then it's that same on all the major social channels for sure. And we try to keep up to speed. There's a mentoring corner that you can tap into and request mentorship. I think that program's kicking off again in Q1.
Mhm.
So there's definitely opportunities there for sure.
Well, congratulations on the great work you're doing at Wise and also at American Express. And
Thank
thanks
you.
for joining us. Really enjoyed the conversation and really appreciate your insights on how sports sponsorships work in today's sports landscape.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys having me. Nice to meet everyone.
Great to have you. So, on behalf of Monica Paul and the Dallas Sports Commission, thanks to Camilo Durana and Andrea Jones for joining us. That's a wrap for 2023, everybody. Season 4 comes to a close. It was a great year. We look forward to connecting again in 2024. Thanks to the Mic Drop production team, Next Level, Marcus Carr and Merrick's, Doc Gooden of Tony Fay PR, Alex Gilbert over at the Sports Commission, of course, our showrunner, Tony Fay. Until next time, thanks for listening. Merry Christmas and happy holidays, everybody.